It is Thursday night, time for an episode of Thrifty Business. What's going on, everyone? Host Vegas J. And with me tonight, I have a brand new first-time co-host, and she was so great as a guest back in December. She's back as a co-host. Melissa, how the heck are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
And where are you located for those that don't remember you?
I'm in Florida.
Florida.
Yes, very hot, sunny Florida.
Yeah. We just finally got there ourselves. We were cold last week, and then boom, it's here. All right, let's get right to our first segment, and then we'll introduce our guest. Oh, we got to turn that up. All right, let's try that again. Much better. All right, it's time for Jay's Tiki Talk. Each week, I drink a different rum out of a different mug, and I try to match it up to our guest. And this week, our guest is Nicole Holtz. Hello, Nicole. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am great. Now, we're going to get into your story, obviously, in a little bit. But the one of the main reasons you're here is that up until a week and a half ago, life was just kind of normal for you guys. And then a hurricane destroyed your house and your cars, basically.
Tornado, but yes.
Tornado. Sorry. Well, I blew what I was going to ask then because I didn't bring out a mug tonight. I brought out a hurricane glass. See, that's where I was going. I was very ahead in my thinking.
Gotcha.
So we don't usually talk about glassware too much, but there is hurricane glasses that people look for. They're from old tiki establishments. This one's actually from a modern tiki establishment. Well, I mean, it was old, but it's still here today. It's up in Lake George. It's the Tiki Motor Inn. And I tried really hard to figure out what rum to match up. So I figured you had to get below deck. So that was my matchup. I'm like, if you got a storm cellar, you got to get below deck. So. Now, I have fancy glassware. I saw Nicole's fancy glassware earlier.
I have the plastic hotel cup with water.
That is,
yeah.
I love it. And what are you drinking tonight, Nicole?
Water. I don't drink, but after the week I've had, I've been considering starting.
Well, if you need some good rum to start with, I'll let you know. And what are you drinking, Melissa?
I have a whiskey ginger highball in the mug I got at the class. Frankie's
Tiki Room. That is awesome. All right, Nicole, sit back, relax. Oh, so, Facebook. I just realized this. YouTube took away the ability to turn people's cameras on and off anymore. I just realized that. All right. So if you could do me a favor, if you hover your mouse at the top of the screen, you will see a camera and a microphone. So just click on them. They'll turn off your camera and your mic.
Okay.
Be dead in the middle of the screen.
Oh, I see you. Got you.
And then, Nicole, in about half an hour, I'll let you know when to come back on. Yeah, that disappeared when I was doing my show with my mom, and I meant to look into it today, and I realized it's still gone. So I usually have that ability to control everything. And now I don't. So maybe this is going to be forcing me to actually learn real software instead of just doing the kind of low rent YouTube thing. But that's for another day. Hey, everybody, let's get right to it, shall we? No, I don't want to rate the app. Come on now. Time for our scores of the week. These are BOLOs. Be on the lookout. Things you should be looking for when you're out selling. And I will tell you right now that my co-host and my guest outsold me this week. I could tell by their awesome scores. All right, Melissa, you're up first. What'd you sell?
All right, so this first one is a WWE DVD from 2002. I actually bought an entire box of wrestling DVDs at a yard sale for $10. It had this one and a whole bunch of others, and I've sold most of them at this point, but this was the highest price one. I actually sold it for $40, not for the $60 that I was asking, and it went to Canada.
That is awesome.
Oh. This was really hard to part with. We actually collect board games, so I really wanted to keep this one, but I did sell it for the full asking price. This is Shogun, the board game. It's a 1986 Milton Bradley board game, and it looks awesome. I counted all the pieces and took these pictures, and it sold very quickly.
And I like how you pulled everything out for that opening shot. Which is weird is I've never even heard of this game. Like I know I know the show or the movie, but yeah, I didn't realize this was a board game. So that is awesome.
Yeah, I didn't know it was a board game either, and I only paid $10 for it.
Nice.
This I paid $12.99 at a thrift store, and so it was already tested, and it sold for the full asking price, and it went to Mexico, so they paid $82.85 in shipping as well, in addition to this. Yeah, that's a good one. And then I love video game parts and controllers and pieces. This was DJ Hero. I bought this for $5 at a yard sale. It's actually unused. The game is unopened. It actually is on a stand, and I sold it for $72, and they paid shipping as well.
So I want to pause there for a quick second because Melissa basically introduced me to, hey, all this Rock Band's gear in good shape still sells very well, which I didn't realize when I was teaching my classes down in Orlando. We talked about it quite a bit. And she was my lifeline a couple of weeks ago when I was in a thrift store. And then I did a thrift haul, and it sat here the whole time, and I forgot to show it. I figured I'd show it tonight. So this is the Sony PlayStation 3 Rock Band drums, still sealed. So the whole
really good money.
And that's good to know. A little bonus tip. I like that. All right, my first score of the week, Merite and Francois Gerbeau jeans. If you were alive in the 90s and you liked, had an affinity for urban wear like I did, you wore a lot of these. It's one of the brands that most people don't know. And even if you were alive in the 90s, you might have missed this. But I sell them all the time. And this is actually the last pair I had to sell. And right now I am out of Merite. So I got to go hunt for some more because they all sell quick. Speaking of selling quick, Nick and Nora pajamas, we've talked about them ad nauseum, but this was listed for a day, maybe half a day before it sold. Paid $5.99, sold for $30. And then, do you know who Tegan and Sarah is?
Who, me?
Yeah, you're the only one I'm talking to right now.
I thought maybe in the general public. They're a band, aren't they? Or like a duo?
Yes, they're twin sisters. And I did a lot of in-stores when I worked at record stores in LA, and they were definitely two of the nicest I ever met. They did a performance, and it was more than just songs. They told stories, how they wrote the song. They were really sweet, really nice and fun to hang out with them. This is a hoodie I picked up of theirs. It didn't sell for the $60. It sold for $40 plus shipping, and I paid $3 because the thrift store had no clue what Tegan and Sarah was.
I love your mannequin.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's fun with the arms. And then just to show other ways to sell, I got this tiki mug at a tiki event, and I didn't realize it was rare, and I didn't pay a lot for it. And I don't care for it that much, and so I put it up for trade in the tiki groups I'm in. And I got some trade offers, but the mugs that people had to offer I already owned. I know it's a shocker. And then one of the people who was trying to trade said, "Can I just buy it from you?" I said, "Sure." I mean, I was just looking for a trade, but if you want it. And so that's just another way to sell. So I shipped it off to her today. Just use stamps.com or pirateship.com to print out the shipping label. And, no fees, so to speak of. And it was easy peasy. So if you are into a specialty like video games, like tiki mugs, make sure you're in some Facebook groups. It's a good way to find stuff. It's a good way to flip stuff. All right, now it's time for my CD scores of the week. And I see E. Blanco says I have 3 Merites to list. Get them listed. Those sell fast for sure. Oh, wait, I think I'm missing questions. Hold on. Debbie sending me things. She wants to know if I'll open the drums to take the pictures or leave it sealed. Oh, I'm definitely leaving it sealed. No need.
I would.
No need to pull them out. All right. So each week I share with my CD scores of the week because I taught a great webinar all about flipping CDs. But first, let me show you my greatest cassette sale of the week. Ghetto Boys, $40 in very good condition. So not like new, not brand new, just very good, $40. Now, if you have not got into CDs, let alone cassettes yet, I finally have the date. My Flipping Cassettes webinar is coming up on June 18th. We will have the sign-up page probably by this weekend, Monday at the latest, but you can definitely mark it down June 18th, Flipping Cassettes webinar. And those of you who took the Flipping CDs webinar, you know the kind of content I bring. But let's get back to the CDs. Hey, Melissa sold a CD.
I did. I actually bought this back in December at the class that I went to in Miami. And you were at the same store buying CDs that I was buying CDs at. And this was one of the CDs I bought. And I sold it. I did not sell it for 34. I actually sold it for 20. But I think I only paid like $3 for it or something. So great.
Very good. All right. So this is funny. This is the Leslie Gore Anthology. It was a 2 CD set. I paid $3.99. Now, for those who don't know Leslie Gore, she has one song. It's my party. And how do you get a 2 CD anthology out of a woman that had one hit is beyond me. However, I am always happy to turn $4 into $26. And I don't often pick up classical music. I know there's some good stuff. There's a lot of crap. I don't know classical music well. However, this was $1 and it was sealed. I felt I had no real downside to picking it up, and it sold for $34.
I have a CD question for you.
Hit me.
So I saw a couple weeks ago you sold a Conan CD. I have the same exact Conan CD, but I cannot sell it on Amazon. Do you have any tips for selling it on eBay? Because it has not sold for me yet. But you just sold it.
Yeah. So send me the link. I'll take a look at your listing. But just bonus keywords. Do you have Arnold Schwarzenegger in the title?
I may have it in the title, but I don't know if I have it like extra in the item specifics. I just started revising them.
Vilma Reed said she had one other song, You Don't Own Me, and I know that song. All right, so it was a 2-disc anthology for Leslie Gore for 2 songs. Hey, after the show, let's pop the link into the thrifting board, and then I'll offer any tips or advice so everyone can see it that way.
Excellent.
Cool. All right, so if you've not taken my course, it's over at flippingcds.com. It is 2.5 hours, chock full of information. It'll blow your mind how much content is in there. But each week I do give one away. So if you have not taken the class, the webinar, and you are not in the Secret Beach, because you can watch anytime you want the Secret Beach, feel free to participate. If you've seen it already or you can see it, please don't. But each week I give one away. All right, here's the question. Are you ready? An integral part of this soundtrack recently passed away. Who was it? And here's the soundtrack. So the first one to answer, who hasn't seen it, wins. And my clue today was Santa when I did my little live video.
I love these. I always want to answer if I know or don't know. I love these questions. I think they're great.
So this is probably the one where it's been the longest. No one even has guessed anything yet. So come on, y'all. I know you got Google too. Because sometimes I think the questions are easy. Sometimes I think they're tough. But everyone's got Google. Boom. Michael Kramer gets it. Angela's funny with Engelbert Humperdinck. Yep. Leon Redbone passed away today. And he's on 4 songs on the soundtrack. So he was very important to this soundtrack. You either loved his voice or you hated his voice. I loved his voice. His voice to me was just cool. Very cool. So, Michael Kramer, if you do me a favor and just message me on Facebook, I will send you the link to get you signed up. Oh, there it is. It was funny because his press release from his company said he was 127 years old. He was actually really only 69, but that was kind of him. He was always kind of a little weird, a little out there. So some of the death announcements did say he was 127 today, or he passed at 127.
That's amazing.
So for those you didn't win, head over to flippingcds.com. Like I said, 2.5 hours. I'll teach you how to conquer a record store because they only know what they're doing to a certain point. I know way better. And I also teach you how to get through all the fluff in a thrift store. There's good stuff in a thrift store, but if you know what to skip, you can skip about 50% of it instantly. And one of the things I talk about, I was at a thrift store yesterday. I'm like, oh my God, this whole section is one of the things I said to skip. This is an easy aisle to skip. All right. Not everything is winners. These are duds of the week. Do not let our mistakes be yours.
So this set of glasses, granted, I only paid $0.25 a piece for each glass. I actually sold it for $4, and they've been sitting in my eBay for a year. They were one of the first things that I bought when I started reselling on eBay about a year ago, and I thought I was, hey, this is awesome. No, they're not awesome. I'm happy to see them go, though. I'm glad they're gone. So these weren't a bad find, and they sold very quickly, and they sold for the full asking price. However, I copied the title from a sold comparable item and didn't look at the title close enough. They're not Gore-Tex at all. And so, yep. So when the buyer got them, they're like, "There, it doesn't say Gore-Tex," and I was like, "Oh, yep. Well, here's all your money back. That is 100% my fault."
And yeah, and that's a great example. Not every dud we share is because it just didn't sell well. I screwed up shipping. That's been my duds. You screwed up what your item's made from. So I totally get that. All right, my 2 duds sold, but it took a long time. These queen pantyhose were listed on November in 2017. And these were queen size pantyhose, often queen size pantyhose. Sometimes they go to taller, larger women, but often they go to men who like to dress as women. Not judging, just that's where they usually go. And then this sheet was listed in August of 2017. And I didn't realize till today that all the images were sideways. I don't think that caused it from selling, but me being me, I would have adjusted that. That's obviously some assistant who listed that. And the funny thing was, I bought it here in Las Vegas for $2.99. It sold for $14.99, and it's going to a customer here in Las Vegas. So it just took almost 2 years to get to that person. All right, now it's time for where in the world did our stuff go? If you are not offering international shipping, you are leaving out 7.3 billion with a B potential customers. Hey, I think we saw this already in your scores.
Yes, the Pioneer CD player went to, what was it, Miguel Hidalgo, Mexico. And they did pay for the shipping to go there. But I did learn something. Apparently, when you ship to Mexico, it has to be a certain size box. So I definitely had to make my box smaller. I had to Frankenbox this one.
Yeah, I haven't sold too much in Mexico over the years, just things here and there, but never anything really all that big. It's usually been music.
Me either. And I did not realize they had a limit. I want to say it was like 19 inches or something like that. Like it had a certain cubic footage it couldn't go over. So I had to cut down the box a little bit. Interesting fact.
No, mine didn't go any place too exotic. St. George, Quebec. But it was sexy Robin costume. So, someone in Quebec's like, you know what I need this week in May? Sexy Robin. So that was my international sale of the week. All right, from that we go to our thrifty tip of the week. Little tips and tricks to help you out when you are outsourcing.
My thrifting tip is to use the knowledge from the thrifting board, Secret Beach, any boards you're a part of, whether they're this one or another one, or the videos you watch, and bring them with you when you go to the thrift stores. So this past weekend, I went to thrift stores like you do, and I brought from Jeans with Joy. So I brought the brands to look for. I have a screenshot that I keep with me, and I went methodically through all the jeans, and I actually found a Merite Francois Gerbeau pair of jeans for the first time this weekend. And it's all because I even just felt confident enough to go through all the jeans and not be intimidated by the massive amount of quantity there is in all the different brands. So my tip is to bring this information with you. You have the phone, bring it.
That's an awesome tip. And you found Meritays. Yay!
Yes, they're pretty cool.
All right. So I'm going to talk about alternative sourcing place. Depends where you live. Not everyone has them, but I live in Vegas and we have them. Outlet malls, which are not always deals or they're brands who have a lower class line, but sometimes within that outlet mall, there is a good brand that just is moving true leftover stuff. That was kind of what the reason of the outlet malls were in the beginning. But then, Polo's like, well, we can just make a lesser line and sell it right there. But in our outlet mall, we have a Disney store outlet that gets a lot of product from the parks. And so I grabbed all their Enchanted Tiki Room shirts for $7 each. And as you can see, I've sold 3 so far. I got 2 left. I've been popping them off for $32. So if you have an outlet mall near you, go look in every store. It might not be your norm, but look in every store. And there's going to be hopefully something that hits you like, there was an Oakley backpack that they were discontinuing, and it was going for such crazy money. A friend paid me to go pick them up for him because he was going to FBA them. Now, of course, I could have flipped him, but I didn't even know that was happening. So I was happy. He gave me $100 to pick him up and send him a box full. So I'm like, it's 15 minutes from my house and 2 minutes from the Tiki Bar. So heck yeah, I'll pick him up for you. All right, now it's time for You Have Got to Be Ship Me. Little tips and tricks, what to do and what not to do when it comes to shipping.
My shipping tip is to know your shipping rates, because I feel like when I started to really learn shipping is when I was able to even think about doing this full time. I just went full time a month ago, and I think it changed really when I learned my shipping rates, like pirate ship, know when to use pirate ship, know when to use FedEx or when to use USPS. And don't be afraid to make a mistake. You guess and test in the beginning and you try and you learn, hey, maybe that wasn't the way to ship it. All right, next time you won't ship it that way. So I think it's really important to know your rates. I actually have a screenshot from Jason, which is something you posted on one of the boards, and it's your shipping rates for international up to 4 pounds. And I have it saved on my desktop, and I use it religiously to help me set my shipping rates and to know which service to use.
Yep, my assistant uses it every day. Now, I am going to go, I am going to cheat a little bit because here's my shipping tip. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Apparently, I thought I was all ready to go. And what in the hay? There we go. All right. Here's my shipping tip for this week. Tune in next week. There's the return of Mark Devine from Bubble Fast, because starting in 3 weeks or 2.5 weeks, the USPS is going to let's get dimensional weight. So what's going to happen is your 2-pound box, because it's a big ass pillow, is now going to ship like it's a 15-pound box. So Mark's going to come explain dimensional weight. We're going to talk about tips and tricks and ways to help yourself. It is not the end of buying and selling big stuff. It's certainly not. You just need to be educated, and oftentimes your customer is going to pay more. So tune in next week for sure. You need to see this. Every single person who sells needs to see this next week. And as a bonus, Bubble Fast just turned 20, and they're having a sale. They've had it this week. It ends at midnight Central Time tomorrow, but it's their biggest sale ever. And my mouse just stopped moving. I would love to show it to you. Hello, mouse. Isn't technology grand?
Yes, it is.
Well, if I could scroll, I would show you. The keyword, the discount word is birthday. You have to shop on the Bubble Fast site. They got great bubble wrap, great peanuts, all the supplies you need. But up until midnight tomorrow night Central Time, you can get 20% off. So head over to Bubble Fast and get your discount. Well, the problem is I can't do anything else because my mouse disappeared.
I'm looking at the YouTube, because I'm watching this on YouTube as well, and the screen is, the background screen is not there. You're there.
I know.
I'm there.
I don't know what happened. So I'm going to pop you on the main screen, and everyone wants to see your doggy, and I see it sitting behind you. So
come
let's share
here.
him for a second.
Come here. This is Bianca.
Hey, Bianca.
She is our dog. She actually, I mean, I imagine everyone else has to. Oh, she doesn't want that. I imagine everyone else has to deal with this on a daily basis. I actually have. She's very needy, and so when I work at the computer all day, she wants to be with me. She wants to be with me. So I actually have like a puppy Bjorn. We call it a Bianca Bjorn because she's Bianca, and she literally sits with me all day in her little carrier, happy as can be. Today she slept in my post office bin that all the shipments are supposed to go out in. So I mean, my cats get in the way too. And I imagine everyone. I can't imagine having kids. Like we want to have kids soon. I can't even imagine. Like the pets are already needy enough. I can't even imagine how difficult it is with children.
This is going to be an interesting show since the computer is so stuck. I have it closed, and this light should be off. Yeah, it ain't off.
That's good. We could see Bianca more.
All right, so I got a question for you. Well, I'm going to try and fix this.
Okay.
When you were a guest on the show, you had a 9 to 5, right?
I did.
And you don't anymore. So tell us about that transition, because as we get our guests in here, we're going to talk about their transition, and I'm going to try and fix my computer.
Well, it's just happened about a month ago. I went full time. At first, I went part time. Well, I went full time, but I was still part time at my job because I was the only one who did my job. So it took them a little bit of time to get someone. So I did that for about a month, and it's been very interesting. I find that I'm learning something new every day, and I feel like when you work for yourself, you get a lot of self-reflection. You know what I mean? Like, how can I do this better? How can I improve how can I list more things? And so now I've just hired a friend to help out a little bit because I think that's really important to taking the next step because you really only have so many hours in a day. And I'm finding like when you do it part-time, your main focus is get this listed. And that's really all you really focus on and kind of make it go. But when you're doing it full time, you have to make it like a full business. So now I'm really tracking things I wasn't tracking before. And I'm trying to make a schedule for myself. It's been awesome, but it is definitely, it's exactly what I want, but it is a lot of work. And it's very hard to turn it off.
Oh, it is. It absolutely is.
I think that's my biggest problem right now is knowing when to say, okay, time for bed, or go eat dinner. Take a time out. Because it gets very easy to just go work on something.
All right. Bear with me for a quick second.
No worries. How was it when you went full time? Was it easy?
Well, it's kind of forced because I had a infection in my arm, and I was working a job, and I wasn't happy with the job, and so my wife kept telling me to quit, and I'm like, no, I'm gonna tough it out, and it didn't work, and so I started working back full time. I started working back full time on eBay, where I had kind of abandoned it. Like I had abandoned it, but I was just doing it, on the side. And that first month, I made as much money with a bum arm sitting in my underwear that I did at a job that was physical and backbreaking. And I'm thinking, the hell was I doing?
Yeah, definitely. I could definitely see that. But, I'm glad it gives you the time. So even though like it's, I'm constantly doing something for my business, I like that it gives you the opportunity to help if necessary. Like my in-laws just had their house struck by lightning. And so we were able to go and help them out, as they needed without any problems because I was just home. Now that means that I have to work later at night instead of in the morning, but at least it allows me the opportunity to do that. I think it's great. The best job I ever had.
Yeah, I fully agree. Like I work harder now than I ever have, but I thoroughly enjoy every minute of the work I do for selling, the work I do helping people on the Thrifty board and Secret Beach and doing these shows.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I think I can kind of get us back on track here. This was that. Okay. I've been doing these shows for 4 years. I've never had the computer with all the stuff just freeze. Just freeze. It wouldn't come back to life.
See, but now you know, and now this has happened, and so now it's filed in the memory banks for this.
And now I got to figure out, okay, what's the backup plan if this ever happens again? Because everything I had ready to go for us and for Nicole coming up here in 2 shakes, it's all gone. So I got to redo everything. That's the bummer.
Yeah. So it's not even just like, hey, I got it back up. Now you got to get everything back up.
All right. So as I said, tune in on Thursday for Mark and get to bubblefast.com before midnight Central tomorrow and get 20% off. All right. Now let's try this. Time for our eBay tip of the week. Little tips and tricks to help you out when you're selling on eBay.
So my eBay tip is use the business policies. So if you go in your eBay and you go to, I believe it's site preferences, and then you can click on business policies. What I like to use, well, my tip is, number one, explore the business policies. Because what it allows you to do is set a rule so that it will continuously do that. So for example, I use the shipping policies, and the screenshot right here is kind of some of mine. Now I'm not the best at it. I'm still exploring it and learning it. But I have like my 8 to 16 ounces USPS first class. Apparently I can't spell, but first class shipping, free domestic. And then I use your shipping chart for the international. I have that saved in the 8 to 16 ounces. So I use the same breakdown you used for the international. And I've now, I've determined what the domestic is and what the international is. And I have them saved. And so if I know if an item is that price, I just click that policy and it's there. And it makes it so much faster to list items.
I haven't used business policies because they kind of messed up for me when they first came around. But if you're getting good use of them, maybe I will take a look at them. All right. Sheesh, this has been crazy. All right. So I popped this in the Thrifting board the other day. If you've not joined us, come on over to the Thrifting board. It's my free Facebook group. We're 55,000 members. Love to help each other. If you have holiday type items or seasonal type items, list them all year round, because within an hour, about 32 minutes, I sold a Christmas CD and Halloween costume in May. Okay. So the Halloween, I kind of understand because of cosplay, because of Comic-Cons, but who was sitting around and they needed the modern Dion Christmas CD from like 10 years ago in May? It just makes no sense, but doesn't matter. What matters is I had it for sale and my customers bought it and they're happy. And I was happy to let the Robin go for $12.49. I've had it listed forever. So I was very excited for it to go. So make sure that you just don't put them aside. Just get it listed. List what it would sell for around the holiday time, and you might pick up that quicker sale before anyone else. Speaking of 55,000, we just crossed the 55,000 mark. Yoo-hoo! So we have added 55,000 members to our group that started less than 3 years ago. If no one's noticed yet, I'm driving the top car. So I don't think anyone's noticed that in the Thrifting board yet. But if you look real close, I am driving the top car. It's
Are you in a Jester hat?
Yes, I am. It's an amazing group. I enjoy seeing everyone every day you learn. And matter of fact, the woman who was number 55,000, she's been selling for a week and a half. So she was our 55,000th member, and she's brand new to us. So I said, please use the group. They're here for you. Everyone is happy to help you. So thank you all for who are watching. Thank you all who are on the Thrifting board to make it the most amazing reselling group on Facebook. All right. So these are not in any order anymore since everything went kaplooey. This is our second Secret Beach cruise. The Secret Beach is my smaller subscription group. But we had a couple cabins left, and we opened it to the thrifting board, and a bunch of members hopped on and grabbed some cabins. And Carnival is like, oh, we'll give you a couple more, and we'll give you to the end of May. Well, that's in a day or two, 2 days. But if you want to join us, we're traveling in November. We are doing the Mexican Riviera, 7 days, 7-day cruise, 3 stops, Mazatlan, Puerto Vallarta, and Cabo San Lucas. And then the 2 days at sea, we will have plenty of time to have fun at sea. We're also going to have some classes, and we make it a ton of fun. Last year was a smashing success, and we're going to do it again this year. So if you have any interest in going, whether in the Secret Beach or not, like I said, I think we have it done by tomorrow. So message me tonight. There is a post on the thrifting board, but just message me. I can get you all squared away. I'm looking forward and can't wait. Coming up, eBay Open is in July. We always have a whole set of events around it. The first event for everyone Sunday night at the Double Down is the Ash Juice Party. It is yummier than it sounds. Monday is the Secret Beach Bash. It is a private party for the members of the Secret Beach where we take over an entire bar, have a whole pig luau with vegetarian options, and have a great band play for us. Then Tuesday for everybody, we have a tiki party at Frankie's Tiki Room. Please wear your best Hawaiian muumuu or shirt. And then Friday, I have my thrift class on steroids, and I see a bunch of the instructors in the audience. We do 2 hours of classroom time, some by the pound bin time, and then in the thrift store time where we add a few more instructors. Joy's teaching jeans. I'm teaching forgotten media. Debbie's teaching books. My mom's there. Craig Dawson is wall. I've never taught the wall about. So that is awesome. The third version of the thrift class on steroids, and link is right down the description. And also, I'm going to pop it right into the chat. See, Melissa, this is what I needed it for. Here is the link right in the chat. So if you want to sign up, Tina signed up today. I just put it up for sale finally this week, and it's already 1/5 sold out. So get your slot now. I do these Tiki Mug unboxing videos on this channel. They're really short videos, 3-4 minutes. Check them out. It teaches you 2 things. It teaches you what Tiki mugs to look for, but also it's breakables that I get in the mail every day. And so it's crazy how different people think they should ship breakables. So no matter what, it's always a good lesson in seeing how everyone else ships breakables. Those of you in the Secret Beach, the webinar for May is this Saturday. It's Tiki Bar, Flotsam and Jetsam, all the stuff that hangs around a tiki bar that isn't tiki's. That is what we are talking about on Saturday. Yeah, we did that. We did that. We did that. What a hot mess. All right. I think we can get our guest back in here. All right. Hey, Nicole, come on. Hop on in here. What a crazy. What a crazy. I'll do that. I'll do that. I'll do that. And let's ring the doorbell. Whoops. Jumping ahead now. There we go. Hey, everybody. It's Nicole. How are you?
I'm hanging in there. How are you?
I'm good. Sorry, a little tonight. I have never had that technical difficulty before, and there's nothing you can do about it. Other than reboot. So I'm still putting your stuff together. So let's let's back up before we get to what happened 2 weeks ago, and just give us a little bit of bio of Nicole. Married, kids, where you live, how'd you end up on eBay, that kind of stuff, and I'll get the rest of yours together.
Okay. So I am married. We have a 15-month-old baby. Her name is Leia, and no, it's not after Star Wars. We just like the name.
Oh, yeah, I was going to ask that.
I have been on eBay since like 2009, but have been basically kind of selling for fun until about 3 years ago. I quit my job in HR and decided to go to eBay full time. And then in December of last year, my husband also quit his full-time job, and we are now doing eBay together. So we're still getting going. We've had a couple setbacks here and there, but so far, so good.
So what brought you to eBay initially to start selling?
I'm actually a massive horror movie fan. And so I had I mean, probably hundreds of horror VHS movies. And as some of you may know, they can do really, really well on eBay. So I started actually selling those. They're actually even worth more now, so I kind of wish I would have hung on to some of them. But yeah, that's kind of what got me started. And then I've always loved thrifting. I've always loved garage sailing. And so it just kind of, when I thought about what I could do for a living that I would actually like doing, it was kind of a natural place to go.
I had a job. Hold on. I had, and we worked right next to a old school rent your video store, and it went out of business. And so my boss didn't know it, but he paid me for 2 weeks, basically for me to walk back and forth and write down the titles that were on the shelf, and then go back to the office, into the record store, look up the horror movies that are worth the most money, then go back and buy them for myself. So I spent 2 weeks, because this was before smartphones and stuff. So I would just take a pen and paper next door and write down all the titles that were there, and just did that forever. But yeah, horror movies that never came out on DVD, crazy money.
Very good. Yeah.
All right, Melissa, go ahead. Do you have a question?
What's your like bread and butter horror movie? Like, what do you know? Definitely, if I see it, I get it.
Okay. With horror movies, the more obscure, the better. So if it looks absolutely ridiculous, that's probably the one that you want to get. So I'm not talking like mainstream, like Friday the 13th. I'm talking like Nail Gun Massacre. Like, if it sounds completely bizarre, that's the one that you want.
So the more inappropriate sounding, the better.
Yes, very much so.
VHS, do they do better than the DVDs? Because I mean, I know that maybe there can be rare DVDs, but do the VHS do better?
In my experience, yes. Hardcore horror fans like myself, we actually really like the nostalgia of VHS. And so your crappy tracking, all that kind of stuff, it kind of adds to it. So, yeah, and plus a lot of those really low budget horror movies never got released on DVD. So VHS is going to be your only option on those. And plus it's just, I love them. Like, you can hold them. The boxes are cool. Like, it's, oh, they're so great.
That's amazing.
What's the most expensive one you've sold?
Literally what I was going to ask.
It was called Lunch Meat. It's literally like some backwoods people who like kill people and like put it in barbecue and sell it. It sold. There are two versions. There's a regular VHS version and like a regular VHS slipcover box. There's also a big box version, which if you've ever seen those, they're like the big, they're oversized boxes. I had the regular slipcover. That one sold for about $120. If you can find the big box, the last time I checked, that one sold for like over $300.
Wow.
You know, I usually skip the VHS section because, like with books, even with CDs, there's more crap than good. But man, I got to go start looking for lunch meat.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you find most of your VHS scores at like yard sales as opposed to thrift stores?
Yeah, I do actually. Funny thing, I moved to Missouri from Iowa, and I brought down my whole collection of VHS movies with me. Most of them were bought from a little tiny privately owned video store in Iowa. I was dumb and donated a lot of them to the thrift store when we first got here. And 5 years later, I went to a garage sale and found one of my VHSs from that little video store in Iowa. And the lady wanted 10 cents for it. I happily paid it. And I believe right now it's selling for about $100.
Nice. That is crazy. And you are definitely the first horror VHS expert we've ever had. Maybe we'll do a horror Deer Beach webinar. That'd be cool. Because I know some of them, but man, I never heard of lunch meat. You got me on that one.
The lower budget, the better.
Okay, so the real question is, because the question I get quite often, is your wife into tiki as much as you are? Which the answer is yeah. Is your husband into crappy old horror movies as much as you?
No, absolutely not. Nope. I'm on my own on that one.
I mean, does he like him at all?
No. Yeah. I mean, it took me to see House of a Thousand Corpses for my birthday one year. I still am hearing about it, like about how horrible it was and how he will never go to something like that again.
He thought that was horrible? Aw.
Well, it's not great, but
Everyone's like, she's so sweet. And you're like, bring on lunch meat. Come on. All right. So, now we're going to get into the meat of the story. See what I did there? I'm freaking hilarious. Up until 2 weeks ago, your husband joined you and things were going just normal. Life was normal for all intents and purposes. And then what happened?
Well, it was a normal Wednesday. We had gone sourcing that day, Goodwill, Salvation Army, got some good stuff. It was in the evening, the watches and warnings started coming in for severe weather. So we, it's not unusual here this time of year. So we just kind of hung tight, watched TV, kept tracking it. Finally, they said that they did actually have a tornado touch down fairly close to us. So now that we're parents, we try to be a little bit more responsible. So we decided we better take the baby into the storm shelter. And we rounded up our 2 cats. Everyone got in there. We were probably in there maybe 10 minutes, and we started hearing what we thought was hail. That lasted for like only 10 seconds, and then we started hearing this really loud roaring noise. Our ears started popping. We're thinking the tornado was probably over us. But it only lasted probably another 25 seconds, and it stopped. So we hung out in our storm shelter a little bit longer, got the all clear from the radio, walked out. Our storm shelter is in a garage that's attached to our house. And so when we walked out into the garage, everything seemed to be okay. There was no power, but again, not unusual. So we went to open the door into our family room, and it wouldn't open. So my husband pushed it really hard, and we heard all this crunching. And it was because there was basically the whole back half of our house blew inward. So as soon as we actually got the door open, we could just see daylight, and we realized that the back of the house was in rough shape.
So we have some pictures just so people can really get a feel for what has happened. We've all had, I'm sure all of us who are adults, which is probably everyone watching, have had something in our life where you're like, oh, like I was telling Nicole, our floor flooded in my office, which really seemed horrible at the time. But then seeing what you guys are dealing with, obviously one flooded floor is not that big of a deal. And it's so thankful that you guys are alive and well.
Yeah, I feel extremely lucky and unlucky all at once. So, I mean, the important thing is that the family is safe. So everything else can be replaced.
And that's such a great attitude to have because, people do get wrapped up in their stuff. I'm definitely one of those people, but a radio show we listened to my wife and I listened to out of LA, that one of the hosts lost his house in one of the fires in the last couple of months. And he's like, yeah, it's kind of weird to go from just life and then owning nothing.
Yeah.
Like you guys still have some things, but they didn't think the fire was coming and the whole house burned down. They got nothing out. They have nothing. And so he said, you got to reassess what you need too when you get to a point like this. I think I see a car under this tree here. Wow.
Yep. That's my car. We had 2 cars that both got destroyed in the tornado. That one was mine. It took the least of the brunt. My husband's car took the worst of it.
Do you have any transportation?
My husband's uncle is letting us borrow a car. He brought it all the way down from Iowa, so he's enough to let us borrow it.
All right, so
that was our family room there. So that's kind of what we want to do.
And here's the crux to this story. Everything got destroyed in your life except what? Your eBay business.
Yeah, luckily our office is in the front of the house, and the front of the house fared much better than the rest of it. So, we had like half of a broken window in that room, and no holes in the roof there. So the bins that we had of all of our inventory in, They stayed relatively dry. There was a little debris here and there, but I mean, everything inside the bins was perfect. So I wouldn't ever sell anything if I thought that it had any way been touched by the storm, just because there's so much glass and insulation and all that craziness going on. But no, the bins were like airtight. So, I mean, most of our listed inventory was perfect.
And ladies and gentlemen, here's the bins.
Yeah. I get them at Lowe's. I think they probably sell them other places too. But I think they're called Commander bins. They're black and yellow. They're super heavy duty. They stack awesome. They're pretty watertight as far as I can tell. I think normally, like at Lowe's in my area at least, they're about $11 a piece, which is a little steep for me personally. I usually wait until they go on sale, which they usually go on sale a couple times a year and get knocked down to about $7 a piece. But even then, I mean, we're on a tight budget, so we usually buy maybe like 4 or 5 at a time and just try to slowly convert all of our storage over to them.
Melissa, do you keep your stuff in bins, or where do you keep your stuff?
So my stuff is at a storage unit, and I am in the process of putting them all in bins, actually, yes. But I am still going through. I have a massive profit pile. That is my big priority right now.
Yeah, unfortunately, we lost a lot of our unlisted inventory because they were in crappier bins.
Like
Just yeah, these are also some of my cheaper bins that we still have. And this is the problem that we're running into, just having them stacked. I'm sure if you've got these, you know that they like bow out, lids won't snap. You get what you pay for. They're kind of crappy. So, I mean, I understand everyone has a different budget, but if you can swing it, I would definitely go for the heavier duty ones.
So these, you said, hey, they cost more, but as I told you earlier, I watch Marilyn Millian on the People's Court, and she always says the cheap comes out expensive. So when you pay a little bit more, and all of a sudden you're in a tornado, you're like, oh crap, the ones I paid more for, they're great. They held up. Not that we all expect to be in a tornado or a hurricane, depending where you live, but when something like that's going to happen. Now, you want to talk about divine intervention? I had to run to do some errands today. As we're getting off the freeway to our house, here's a truck driving by with the bins in it.
Ah, nice.
My wife was quick to snap a photo. What? I'm like, what? Of all the things I can see right now, a couple hours before showtime, is the bins we are talking about. Isn't this crazy?
Nice.
All right. So I missed a few questions. I want to back up a little bit because people had a few more horror questions for you. Do you decorate your house at Halloween?
Yes, I do. Very much so. Well, probably not anymore because I think I lost some of those decorations. But no, I'll get back there.
And then do you remember your first horror movie you watched that you liked? Like when you were a kid?
I remember the first one that scared me. Okay, don't judge my mom, but my mom let me watch horror movies from the time I was like really little. And I turned out okay. But anyways, the first one that really I remember scaring me, I think, was Halloween 5. Michael Myers is still great as far as I'm concerned. He's creepy. So yeah, that would be the one.
You watch horror movies, Melissa?
No.
I
like the whole, like, I have a lot of friends who are really into it, and I like the whole scene, I should say. Like, that's cool and all, but I gotta be honest, I can't sit hours through anything that's gonna scare me. Or it's gonna make me mad. Turn around, run away. Like, I can't. I can only yell at the TV so much. I don't do horror movies.
I think I'm a little bit older, and my first one that really made me check under the bed was Poltergeist, when the clown choked a kid, and that made me be like, oh crap, could that happen? You didn't move the bodies. All right, so now we got some more questions about your situation.
Sure.
Do you have good homeowners insurance? We all hope.
I hope so. So far, it's in the very early stages. They want us to write down basically everything that we own. and they want to be very specific, which is very hard when you are a thrifter because I do have a lot of profit piles. And honestly, I open tubs sometimes and don't even remember that I bought that item. So as far as me writing down every single thing I own specifically, it's going to be a very, very long process.
Right, just think about it. It's a lot of stuff, just your stuff for sale, let alone your items.
Yeah. So, I mean, because I was asking the agent, like, how specific do you want me to get? And they're like, well, go through your fridge, and if you had 2 packages of peas, like, write that down. I'm like, are you nuts? Like, no, I don't have time for that, for one. Like, my house is like molding as we speak. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Did your child have like 17 pairs of Louis Vuitton shoes?
I think so.
That's where we start saying that the baby had Gucci and all this other stuff.
My baby's dripping in diamonds.
Yeah.
I'm guessing by the pictures we know this answer, but someone did ask, is it a tear down and start over, or is your house salvageable at all?
You know what? At first they said, yeah, it's probably a tear down. Now we have another guy in there who thinks that the foundation is still okay, so he might be able to save it. So we'll see. I mean, it would be a total gut job if they did, obviously. But we'll see. I mean, we're hotel living at the moment until we kind of can figure out what they're going to do. So.
Yeah, are you gonna get like a longer term stay kind of place, like a bed and breakfast, an Airbnb, or?
Yeah, tomorrow actually we're gonna move into like an extended stay hotel with a kitchen, because we've eaten nothing but like restaurant food for the past week, and we're all bloated and ready to be sick. So it's time to like get into a kitchen again. So.
Or try to get back into a routine.
Yeah, routine's gonna be important. So how, and this is the important part for everyone watching, because you never know when you're gonna go from just normal life to, oh my gosh, I gotta pivot. Mm-hmm. How are you running your eBay business? Did you have a printer with you? I mean, how are you doing it right now?
Luckily, again, the printer was in the office. We didn't have power, so we didn't know if it was still gonna work or not, but luckily it does. So that was good. Right now, our store just reopened today. We put it on vacation for the past week. So we sent out packages this morning. Our storage unit is unfortunately about 30 minutes away. So we went to the storage unit, got the items that sold, brought them back to the hotel, packaged them, printed labels, and then sent them off to the post office. So it's inconvenient, but it is possible.
Great tip from Mary. Look at pictures on your phone that you just haven't taken of your child or your cats, because you'll see your stuff in the background too. So you know, you can look and go, oh yeah, I had that Louis Vuitton thing and that.
Yep.
By the way, I'm just kidding. I'm not saying falsify your record. Hey, I got a question. So we're talking about the oversized case for the video. Is this what we're talking about? Let me click on that. So that.
Let me look.
Click on it, Nicole. I'll make it big.
Yeah. That is a kind of a version of it. A lot of them honestly kind of look like small cereal boxes. You know, they'll usually have like some styrofoam in there that kind of holds the VHS in place. But yeah, if you see like the big box version, kind of like CDs with those long boxes, big box version of VHS movies.
Here we go. Boom.
Yeah, there you go.
And it's sold for $213. Body shop.
Yeah, I mean, look at the cover art. That just screams
cool.
Buy me.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, see, like, I think that's pretty cool looking, but I'm not watching it. I'll look at it and I'll go, hey, that's cool, but no, I'm not watching it.
Yeah. Before the tornado, I had like probably like 50 horror movie t-shirts. I had like a collection going on. Cool. And I was worried about the baby at first because, you know, she's really starting to like catch on to things, but she loves them. I mean, she like touches them and plays with them and like all these scary images that you wouldn't really think that she'd be into. She plays zombie a lot. She'll like make zombie noises. So
So good.
don't judge me. She'll be normal, I promise. But
I love that she plays zombie. It's
All right. So
amazing.
a lot of people knew, your store was coming up. They wanted to actually shop in your store to give you a little bit of a hand. And so here is her store, and I'm going to pop the link into the chat for those of you watching the chat right now. Nope, that's not it. Woo. So Nix-Pix 84. Were you born in 84, I assume?
I was. I'm so unoriginal. Yeah.
All right, let me pop the link in the chat because the one I popped in, that is not what I wanted. There we go. But while we're talking about you, let's do your duds first and we'll end on your scores.
Sure.
I figure I should start flipping that because we always have these nice stories, then we see the scores, and then the last thing we see in the show is like a dud.
Yeah.
So let's start with the duds and go to the scores from now on.
Okay, so yeah, these shorts I had for probably at least 2 years. They were Levi's, they were nice. I was like, okay, sure, why not? I probably paid like $2 for them. They sat forever. I kept lowering the price. Finally, we got down to $13.99. They were over £1, so they had to go padded flowery envelope, which now is like $7, whatever it is.
$7.33.
Yeah, by the time we paid the shipping, the fees, our original cost, a couple bucks if we're lucky. So, yeah, no.
And your other dud is the sexy little top.
Okay, so when I first started out a couple of years ago really selling, I got super into swimwear because it's easy. You don't have to like iron it or steam it usually. Light to ship. So I was picking up basically anything that I thought was cute. And I learned pretty quickly that swimwear brands definitely matter. So this one, again, I sat on it for probably 3 years. And finally, $9.99 free ship. I was glad to see it go.
I have a question for you. You do a lot of clothing. Do you pretty much buy based on brand, or do you have any other criteria you look for?
Brand, of course, is super important. But also sometimes sizing really plays into it. Plus sizes are great. Vintage stuff is awesome if you can find it. Some of the stuff that we lost in the tornado, I had just bought these amazing like pinup dresses, and they were all like a 4X. Even one of them was new with tags still. I was so excited about them, and I had them out like ready to photograph when the tornado came, and so I had to throw them out. So I was bummed, but yeah, that's kind of. I look at all of those things when I pick out clothes.
And let's see your scores now. Woo!
Sure. So I find tons of good CDs now. Thank you, Jason.
You're welcome.
And in one of my thrift stores right next to CDs, they put like books on tape and books on CD. So I scan those now too. This one did really well. I was happy with it. I think I paid up for this one like $5, which for me is a lot. But it sold for $40. It didn't take long to sell. Easy ship, so it worked out.
This little sexy.
John.
I saw the word skirt earlier. I'm like, that is the shortest skirt ever. And then I finally read the rest of the title just now.
Yes. Okay. Betsy Johnson in swimwear is like my go-to. Every time I find something of hers, I can sell it for like a good amount of money. It sells fast. I almost always pass used swimming suit bottoms because, to be honest, a lot of people are kind of weirded out by that. And they hardly ever sell for me if I buy used bottoms. This was the exception because it was Betsy Johnson. So I think I had this listed maybe a couple days, and I was really happy getting the $26 for it. I think I paid like 99 cents.
So does that mean you said you do a lot of swimwear? Do you do just tops then mostly, or will you do a one piece?
Yeah, bikini tops sell awesome. So if you find like nice Victoria's Secret ones, and I'm not talking just like the no structure like string bikini tops. I mean, they'll sell, but you really want those ones with like the molded cups. Girls pay up for those big time. And a lot of girls wear like bikini tops with shorts or whatever, and so they don't necessarily need the whole suit.
Well, it's so
that's
valid.
well for me.
I've never bought swimsuits, and so that really intrigues me.
I love them. They're easy to ship, and I don't have to do very much to them. And Robert Graham.
Robert Graham action here.
Yeah. Most probably have Robert Graham on your radar already. He has kind of cooled off lately, but if you still find a cool one with like an interesting print, they will sell. There was only one comp in past solds for this shirt that I found, and I think they asked, maybe $35-$40, which I didn't think was enough. So I decided to just throw it out there for $60, and it sold really quickly, I think within 2 days.
I don't even know if I knew he did corduroy shirts.
I didn't know that either, but
I didn't.
Yeah.
See all the wonderful things you learn on Thrifty Business on Thursday nights. Woo!
Yay!
Hey, speaking of swim trunks,
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Board shorts are selling like crazy for me right now. This is one of the pairs. I wasn't familiar with this brand when I seen it, but I loved the color and the pattern, so I decided to look it up while I was there. And yeah, this brand, don't really still know it, but they seem to sell really well. So again, I kind of looked at comps, decided to price it at $50, and maybe took a week and a half to sell. But lately I've been selling board shorts, at least a few a week, and they're usually selling for like $30-$40.
I actually also have been selling a lot of board shorts lately. So now, right now, every time I go to the thrift store, I'm picking them up.
Yeah.
And we have one more. Oh no, we're done. All right. So I had a question going back to the bikini tops or the swimsuit tops. How do you ship the molded cup suits? Do you ship them in a box?
No, I do polybag. I usually kind of turn the cup inside of itself, like put them together, kind of molded together. I don't know. I'm probably not explaining that right, but yeah, polybag. Never had any problems with it. I do the same with molded bras. I know, Jason, I think it was you who used to put like air pillows in the cups or whatever. I don't even do that. They seem to go fine. So
there you go. You heard it right here, straight from the expert swimsuit shipper, Nicole. Yay! All right. So what's next on the agenda? Getting back with the people who are going to redo the house, finding long-term care place to live so you can actually have a kitchen and make salad and cook some food.
Yeah. We're already.
So here's the question though: are you going to have time? When you're trying to do all this stuff to source and the list still too, because that's your job.
Yeah. My husband and I, this is our only job. So it's either we sit here and be depressed and watch TV and go broke, or we get our butts out there and try to figure it out and make it work. So we're already thinking like we can probably set up like a white sheet or something on a shower curtain rod in the hotel bathroom and try to get new stuff listed. Because as you know, if you stop listing, your sales stop. You got to keep listing if you want the sales to keep coming in. So.
Well, I commend you for not giving up. I commend you. A lot of us, and myself included at one point in my life, would sit in the corner and suck my thumb and just feel like it's over. I lost a job early on that I loved, and I was like, how am I going to make rent? But that's how I taught myself online selling. So shit happens for a reason, So
yeah.
Well done for you guys, not just sitting back and being like, oh well.
Oh, believe me, there have been times that I want to. We've both broken down crying. I know it's just stuff, but I think as any like reseller or person who's into thrifting, stuff's important to us, and we kind of almost get like an emotional attachment to a lot of stuff. And it's the first house we ever bought. The Mustang was the first car my husband ever bought, so it's sad to see them go, but still, I'm so thankful that we're okay. I'm so thankful for all the support I've gotten from you guys on the Secret Beach, the thrifting board. We don't have any friends or family down here, and so I just really needed like that support, and you guys delivered. So thank you so much.
Well, you might not have friends or family directly next to you, but you have friends or family all over the world with the thrifting board and the Secret Beach. So we are going to post your store in the group tonight. But for those of you watching right now, it is Nix, Niks -Picks 84. And if you see something you like, it's something you can wear. If you see a cute little bikini top, stop in and snag it. It's always nice when we can help out those of us friends in need. And I think my wife needs a top with this weird frilly lace around the chest.
There you go.
What in the hell is going on there?
Okay, I just bought that a week ago, and I think it is the
crazy
shirt I've ever seen. Like, I told my husband, I'm like, did someone put that on like themselves? Like, they seriously didn't make it like that. No, they did. It's the ugliest thing I've ever seen. Like, you should get it.
It looks like somebody's putting a skirt on.
It's like they started and they just gave up.
Yeah, they didn't finish. Right. I'm so tired. This will just never do. We'll just leave it. I give up. This is my life now.
We'll end on this question because it's funny the way it was worded from our good friend Linda. Weird question. Where did you get your voluptuous swimsuit mannequin?
Okay. Well, I've got two mannequins. I've got the black one that's very small. We call her a name I probably shouldn't repeat on the air. And then I have got this plus size mannequin that I found at a garage sale for $5, and she has got a set of breasts like you would not believe. They are huge, so she works out pretty well for like our plus size swimwear.
Wow.
I find most of mine through Craigslist, garage sales. My plus size mannequin was sitting at Savers one day. Someone had torn the price tag off, so I never knew what the initially priced it at. I said to the manager, I said, I want to buy this. How much? And he said, I don't know. I was $19.99 and I had a 30% off coupon. I'm like, sold. Nice and easy.
Yeah, this black one I got off of like a Craigslist ad for like $10. So I need a lighter color one like this though. But yeah.
I got my mannequins at a yard sale, but they have polka dots.
If you're going to do women's clothes and you're going to do bigger than, let's say, like a 6 or 8, it really behooves you to have a bigger woman mannequin because it really fills out the whatever you're putting on, the dress, the shirt, the bikini top. Because when you put it on a smaller mannequin, it looks a little bit deflated almost. So, yeah, when you can fill it out, even guys, too. I find big guy stuff. I don't have a big guy mannequin, so keep your eyes peeled. All right. Well, what a wonderful is a bad word tonight, but Nicole is such a ray of sunshine and perseverance. And you know what? One thing I wanted to say, Nicole, when I was looking for the post and I was looking in the wrong group, I was just looking for posts by you. And you do it right. If you're going to be a reseller, you're going to be in any group, especially mine. You can learn by just reading, but you actually participate. You start posts. You help with people. And it's the interaction back and forth that really makes you a better seller because you learn so much. Like, I have not combed the racks for horror movies in quite a while, and I've never looked at bikini tops. I'm doing that this week, and I'll tell you right now. So that's how you become a better seller. So I want to say to you, thank you for being a quality, great member of the group. By always being there and helping out and asking questions. So awesome to see how much content that you put in the group.
Thank you for having the group. I've learned so much. It's ridiculous.
I agree.
And Melissa, I think we need to do this again. You are a great. And now that we can see you, man, we had some issues earlier. I couldn't see her, but yeah, you look good. I think you're a great co-host. I'd like to have you on again as a co-host if you want to join me.
Anytime. I do this full time now, so you know.
Yeah. I'm just home. I'm here.
I'm just here at the computer.
All right, Nicole. Like I said, I'm going to pop your store into the group later. So anyone feels like they want to buy a bikini top, please head over to Nicole's store and buy it. Secret Beach members, I'll see you on Saturday for Tiki Flotsam and Jetsam. And everybody, tell your friends. Everybody, tune in next week to hear Mark from Bubble Fast explain dimensional weight to us. You're going to need to know this in 3 weeks. So don't get caught with your pants down because you're going to go ship something and you're like, wait a minute, shipping this yesterday was $10 and today is $47. That's going to happen to a lot of us. I know it. So at least learn what you need to know next Thursday. So tune in for Mark. And with that, one on this. Sherry says, good job, Melissa. You have an infectious smile.
She does.
I hope so. I hope so.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Do us a favor. Give us a like. Give us a subscribe. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us in the Thrifting board. Come on over. We're happy to help you with any question that you have. And with that, I'm out of here. Have a wonderful night, everybody. Thanks, Nicole. Thanks, Melissa.
Thank you.